Well, folks, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few days since I've done anything, and I thought I'd leave you with this one on the series we've been doing on Citadel Journals. uh, 195 Spring 86. Now, this one here has all my early memories and all my inspiration that got me heavily into Citadel and Warhammer. I never got round to playing the second edition rules, and this was all featured around it, but there was a large article in this and a set of new releases that really caught my eye, that really got me into, like I said previously, into the hobby, or the fantasy side of the hobby. So lovely artwork on the front, absolutely gorgeous. You don't get any of that now with the White Dwarf, I don't think. So if we open it up and once we start, I mean, this is quite delicate on the spine, but again we've got the source of card buildings again. You're right up within the centre, well, on the page. Yeah, well laid out as usual, clean, tidy. Yeah, so yeah, Joe, and this is what got me: Vengeance of the Leechmaster, and it's Rick Priestley. There's also Painting Skaven, Miniature Magic, Bestiary, Judge Dredd, a drum Macbeth doth come. That's all to do with obviously Macbeth. Drastic Plastics, John Stallard describes them. Rogues Gallery, Quest of Caleb Dark, Eternal Champion, Chaos Helmet Competition, Chaos Battle Banners, Dragon Meat 86, Eldritch's Apostles, Reader's Art, the Monastery of La Maisontal, sorry. That is the entire thing that the cards and everything focus around. Then you get the brief for the players, and obviously the price list. So yeah, so we open it up, and what do we get hit with? Well, all the stuff where Games Workshop was abroad. You know, your contributors, editor Brian Ansell, you know, cover art John Blanche, card models Dave Andrews, illustrations Jez Goodwin, Tony Ackland, John Blanche and David Andrews. But yeah, this was a scenario, and it makes for a good read actually. Really helps you capture what's going off with the whole thing. Look, Skaven here, the map leading up to and around Munster, and that's the battlefield as well. And then you've got the Terror of the Leechmaster, which was a box set that came out beforehand. Here's a load of card tokens. Look, see, this is how old it is. It's starting to fall apart at the spine. Yeah, so mail order, here you go. These were all the things that are around, you know, your main rules: Terror of the Leechmaster, Bloodbath, Orcs Drift, and Blood on the Streets. I think there was another box set that come out with buildings in as well, with a few scenarios with it. I can't be 100% sure on that. Game Skaven, this is when they released it, had complete feedback on it. Not feedback, backstory, all the different clans and things. It tells you all about them. Again, stat lines for them. What to do with plague sensor bearers and all that. Your mutations. Honestly, this really did grab me by my short and curlies, to be fair. Yeah, really is the bee's knees as far as I was concerned at the time, and still think it's really good publication. Here we go. How to do your Skaven. Black undercoat. various pictures of your Skaven models. Dungeon floor plans. Some more, I think it's staff that did these. Yeah. Painted by Kevin Adams, Colin Dixon, David Andrews, Colin Dixon, and both of these by Colin Dixon as well. Some more about Citadel miniatures, telling you what requires assembly and plastic shields that were there to be fitted. And here was the release of further additions to the C47 Skaven Chaos Ratmen. Yeah, they still stand the test of time. And Jez Goodwin sculpts. Some the Undead Cavalry, which you needed them for the scenario. I wasn't sure whether you had zombies, so it's been a while since I've read through it and what have you, but as you can see, the zombies are nice as well. They were done by Kev Adams as well. Bob Naismith and his Minotaurs. Trish Morrison's Slan. Love these sort of figures, but I'm not a fan of painting them. In fact, I've always struggled to paint Slan type figures. Snotlings, Halflings, Chaos Dwarves. These were done by Poachers. This was their first style Chaos Dwarves. There was a Chaos Renegade box that came out just before these, I think, as well. This figure I've got is another one of those heroic adventurers that I was talking about in the past. Lovely, lovely figure. Any problem was the horses were split into two halves on this. And at that time, the casting process isn't as good as it is now. I mean, it was still outstanding for its time. Putting it together in two halves was an absolute pain. T26 Men at Arms is available from Foundry. These are in their own War of the Roses range. Coming soon, Oriental Heroes. Beautiful set of figures by Ali Morrison. Several figures on the same dolly, but slightly different attire and what have you. I've got a lot, and I mean a lot of these lying around. It probably end up being a feature in the future at some point. All your CO1 fighters. There's one of your rip-off figures that's used in Macbeth. People charge the Earth for saying it's rare. Not. Aldred Fellblade. There from that figure was used in Macbeth, and you get ripped off for the price. That one you get ripped off for the price because it was in Macbeth, and that one, and that one. There are CO1 fighters with nothing special, and people have to pay an arm and a leg if you want the actual figures to do the scenario. Thieves, beautiful stuff from there. You don't get those sort of figures anymore, but they were absolutely cracking figures. Lord of the Rings, different add-on blisters. Nazgul. Then we have more of the Dungeons and Dragons that you saw previously. Oops, I think I've skipped a page. There we go. Talisman figures, Star Trek. They had the license for a short while on Star Trek. Amazing. More Doctor Who. More Judge Dredd. More Judge Dredd. And again Judge Dredd. The part of the rules using the Warhammer system look at the time. Different stuff to do with grenades and things. So yeah, pretty cool. The role-play game and other games that you could have found in Games Workshop at the time. These soon disappeared a year or so after this publication, I believe. then a drum, Macbeth, and this is telling you all about the Macbeth and various background bits of it. Again, cracking. If you ever get to Macbeth box set and what have you, it makes for a cracking read, to be fair, as well. Again, it's something else I've always wanted to play. Never got around to playing it. Got quite a few of the figures, actually. There we go. Drastic Plastic. John Stanton describes Citadel's new plastic range. Now, I remember these coming out, and the Sagstarine Dwarves. So, yeah. It mentions them here, look. Sagstarine Dwarves Part 1. Yeah. And here we go. Rose Gallery. Alien Jez. John Blanche. Rick Priestley. When he started shortening his hair till he's got no hair. There's a group of them. Trish, Ali, Bob, Brian Ansell and Jez Goodwin, Bob Naismith, Tony Ackland, Perry Twins at the bottom here, and Chaz Elliott. And here we go, carrying on from before when we saw it in the other journals, more on Caleb Dark. Several pages of it again, which is always good if you've got them. Gives you some background and feel for the whole situation. You could get the figures. So we're still going with Caleb Dark. And there's the figures that came, well, one of the figures that came out for it, all the stats. So again, you didn't just get the comic strip, you also got figures to go along with it. Eternal Champion, Michael Moorcock. Now these were a set of figures as well that came out. This was a box set that came out at the time. It's got all your individual named characters and all their stats as well. Now there was another one that design your own helmet. These were some of the banners that won the previous banner competition as well. It was left red on the back, so if you wanted to use the banners, you cut it out. Yeah, Dragon Meat, which is another type of games day at the time. But yeah. The Eldritch epistles, questions and answers. More artwork done by readers. Some nice stuff in there, to be fair. Then we get to the actual Vengeance of the Leash Master. All the card buildings help to look like that. It was quite small. It'd be nice to do a full-size one in scale with the figures instead of this card one. But I can understand why they did it. It gave you something instantly, gave you scenery instantly to be able to play. So yeah, absolutely lovely. Throt the Unclean and all this lot. These were all your characters behind the scenario. So then you needed 40 Skaven warriors split into 2 units. And this is all to do with your previous 2 pages to do with your Skaven. Then we get on to Heinrich Himmler and his stats and what he's able to have and things. Lord Krell, Lord of the Undead, that ended up being a reincarnation in the 5th edition, I think. Michael Jackson, bit of a pun with the skeleton and head on fire. That knocks back to an incident back in the 80s to do with Michael Jackson. This tells you your forces again. There you go, look, Terror of the Leash Master, which was a box set. The Frugalhofen Village, Boggles Farm, and Grimbrain's Mine. Was 3 scenarios that was in there. So and then you've got the Defenders of Mezontal, all your monks and character figures. Mechanical warrior, it's like a robot thing. Yeah. And then we have the price list, spring price list. Here you go again. Let's see what the paints are now. Paints were still 60p. The box sets of paints was $4.95. The 13 fantasy figures I think had gone up by 5p. Regiments of Renown were the same. There you go. Most stuff for blister packs was £1.50 for 3 figures. Oriental Heroes was 60p. Half Orcs was 60p, but everything was starting to get into the blisters steadily. As you can see, there's not many individual prices now. They're becoming standardized prices. And this was when everything heavily moved into blisters as well. But yeah, you got your Dungeons and Dragons sets, Chronicles box, Monsters box, Dungeons and Dragons. There you go, look, Doctor Who, Star Trek and Judge Dredd, Lord of the Rings. Like I said in one of the previous videos, these are outstanding figures for the time. Same as only 2 or 3 poses or figures in the pack. Shame they didn't do any more, but again, it was all to do with licensing, I think, as well at the time. And here we go. This is when you can go into mail or write to mail order or ring mail up, and you could order individual sets of what you needed. I mean, 3, 4 figures for only £2. He's going for a minimum of £80 and more on eBay. It's mental. I mean, these are still a fair price. You can drop them in sometimes, name sometimes. They're going for stupid money. And people making out they're mega rare and this, that, and the other. Yeah, they're not easy to come across, but they're not rare. I just can't be dealing with people ripping you off on eBay. It's getting beyond a joke. And this was the main structure here to do with the Mezontal itself. And then on the back you've got dungeon floor plans for the dungeon game that they had out at the time. So folks, yeah, that was the journal for spring 86, sorry. This brings me so many memories back, and it still inspires me today of what's in there. But yeah, you just can't knock it. I mean, this was, for me, was the heyday, or I think it was the heyday in my eyes. Obviously, you went to 4th and 5th edition, which was known as the Red Era and all that, and that broke the mold of everything. But it wasn't long after that things changed and became a completely different beast of a hobby, and more and more commercialized. But yeah, I mean, this for me is, I mean, you can see it's been thumbed through, it's got wear and tear on it. I mean, this is from original when I purchased it. But yeah, so many memories. But yeah, thanks folks. Thanks for joining me along this journey of the Citadel journals I have got some more of the modern ones from the 4th and 5th edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So I could find them out at some point, see what I've got left of those. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed following me on this. If you have, please put a thumbs up, like it and all that lot. Share, tell your mates about this sort of thing if they're into this sort of period of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. But most of all, I've had some more subscribers. So once again, thank you very much. Steady trickle's lovely. I'm steadily trickling up in membership, subscriptions, sorry. It really does mean a lot. So, but yes, folks, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. Most of all, enjoy your hobby, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.